You might be wondering how to remember so many links between sociology and other social sciences when preparing for UPSC, especially under time pressure. By the end of this video, you will be completely clear about how sociology connects with fields like political science, economics, history, and psychology, and how to use those links in your answers. Think of sociology as a wide-angle lens that looks at society, while each allied discipline is a different lens focusing on one part of the same scene. First, let's see how sociology and political science overlap and why that matters for UPSC questions on state, power, and institutions. Both subjects study social groups, authority, and the organization of collective life. So many concepts cross over between them in real political events. Historically, political writings contained sociological insights, and today, political sociology studies parties, elites, voting behavior, and bureaucracy using sociological tools. Remember thinkers like Weber and Michels when you link social structure to political behavior in a mains answer, it shows depth. Next, economics and sociology meet where markets and social life interact, which is crucial for questions on development, poverty, and policy. Economic activity happens within social institutions. So, citing economic sociology helps explain why policies succeed or fail in different contexts. Use examples such as networks shaping market access or cultural norms affecting consumption to make your answer more realistic and persuasive. Now consider ethics and sociology, a pair often tested in moral and governance type questions in UPSC. Sociology explains the social roots of behavior, while ethics judges actions as right or wrong, and both are needed for complex issues like corruption or affirmative action. When you analyze a case in ethics or GS, state the sociological causes first and then discuss the ethical evaluation and policy implications. Anthropology and sociology complement each other by offering rich field data and cultural perspectives, useful for questions on tribal policies and cultural diversity. Anthropology's ethnographic detail and sociology's structural frameworks together help you explain why a policy works in one region but not another. Social anthropology, once focused on small communities, now overlaps more with sociology because many communities experience rapid change and require combined methods. History and sociology form a powerful pair for understanding long-term social change, a connection that often appears in topics on reform, migration, or institutional evolution. History gives the sequence and context, while sociology identifies patterns and causes. So use both to build arguments about continuity and change. Cite historical examples to strengthen sociological generalizations in mains answers or essays on social transformation. Philosophy and sociology share roots. Philosophy frames questions about society and knowledge, and sociology tests those ideas with empirical evidence. Philosophical clarity helps you distinguish facts from values in your answers, an important skill in UPSC where normative discussions must be balanced with evidence. Psychology and sociology differ in level of analysis but combine well in areas like social psychology. This is handy when you must explain behavior in crowds, movements, or institutions. Some phenomena need a micro-level psychological insight plus a macro-level sociological context. For example, radicalization or mass mobilization. Social psychology studies how social context shapes attitudes and behavior. So referencing it strengthens answers on communication, persuasion, and public policy. To make these links easy to recall, imagine each discipline as a window looking at the same house of society from a slightly different angle. When UPSC asks about governance, development, or social change, choose the windows that best illuminate the issue and explain why they matter. A common mistake is to treat disciplines as isolated. Better answers show how they interact and complement each other to explain real-world problems. Now, a key exam tip most UPSC aspirants miss. Always combine theory with a concrete example and state the policy implication clearly in your conclusion. For instance, when discussing political sociology, name a theory or thinker, give a contemporary example of party behavior or bureaucracy, and recommend a policy step. This structure, concept, example, implication earns clarity marks and shows integrated understanding that examiners value. Another tip: use comparative reasoning, like showing how economic policy played out differently in two states because of social networks or cultural norms. Quick recap. Sociology offers a broad integrative view. Political science focuses on formal institutions. Economics on material exchange. And other fields add depth from culture, history, and mind. Together, these disciplines give you a fuller explanation of social phenomena, which is exactly what UPSC answers require. Remember the practical rule. Pick the most relevant disciplines for the question, link them clearly, give a short example, and end with a policy or normative implication. You are on the right track if your answers move from explanation to example to recommendation, because that format shows synthesis and applied knowledge. Keep practicing by mapping a few key UPSC topics like poverty, governance, caste, migration to these disciplinary lenses until it becomes natural. If you study a past paper question, underline where a sociological insight would strengthen a political or economic explanation, and try writing one integrated paragraph first. That small habit bridges the gap between knowing concepts and writing exam-ready answers efficiently under time pressure. Thank you for sticking with this overview. Confusion about disciplinary links is normal, but clarity comes from practice and simple frameworks you can reuse. For more structured lessons, examples, and answer writing practice tailored to UPSC, continue learning with EduRev, where you'll find concise notes, solved questions, and strategy tips. Keep going. Revise these links often, and you will find that interdisciplinary answers become one of your strengths in the exam. Good luck, and I'll see you in the next EduRev lesson where we break down a sample mains answer using these exact links.